Koholo Yahweh Bashim Abshai, Bashim Dash, double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone over well. I am not a member, however, I've entered into their labors. Peace and mercy to the sincere brothers and sisters, students, wherever you are, whatever your life may be. I'm on the phone, so I'm going to make it quick, but we're going to get the scriptures that we need. And what you're about to see has Jeremiah 50 written all over it. I mean, from the 9th verse throughout the 20s and the 30s. I think it's about a 48, 47, maybe a 50 verse chapter, but it is Jeremiah written all over and through it. But the first thing we need to understand, right? The Lord ruleth in the kingdom of men, okay? And vengeance is Yahweh's. And you can look at this thing from a twofold, right? If you look at it from a scriptural standpoint, then yes, this is, the Persians or the Carmanians, they are at the moment being used or will be used here pretty soon, them with the help of the bear, right? Because America or Babylon is the eagle and Russia is the bear. With the help of the bear, right? Now there go, which they have already. It's already been, confirmed that they are lending tacit support, whether it be monetarily or I guess with weapons, right? With money and weapons, supplies, things that they need. So currently the Holy Land, right, that is currently being trodden down by the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles being fulfilled, they have nowhere to run. Okay, and that very, that attitude they had towards the Ishmaelites in the land that they took, right, it's neither one of theirs, but right is right and wrong is wrong. There was no remorse. Generally speaking, there was no remorse. And now look how the Lord has turned the tables. And he will soon, turn the tables on Babylon the Great. So I want to let it play fully. I'm going to try my hardest. All right, I'm finna try. I'm not going to pause the video. We're going to watch it all the way through. Then we'll go back and pause as needed. But I have to be quick. So here we go.
Breaking fuck the news and good morning. I've been tagged in this specific video so many times. This is a part 2 of the Lego diss video that Iran dropped called Vengeance for All. Watch this shit.
See that? So there's a lot to unpack, and I wish I could have done this on my computer, but we're gonna do we're gonna do what we can. Okay, so let's wind it back. And there's quite a bit, but we're gonna get it. And we're just gonna be brief, and you need to do your research. So you see, it went through. Obviously, it talks about Gad, right, the Northern Kingdom, and then the stolen so-called blacks. All right. And then it goes into the different things, all right? Because so let's open up with Revelation 6 and 4, okay? Well, first and foremost, let's open up with that, okay? And as you can see, he is highlighting, or this is not Ishmael, this is Elam, I believe. Maybe, I don't remember. Maybe they're Ishmael. Either way, they are highlighting inadvertently a lot of scriptures in the Bible that identify who he is. Okay, Revelation 6:4. Right, there went out another horse that was red. Remember, red, dragon, desolation. All of these things are scarlet. All of these things paired with E. Okay, it was red, and power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And their sword was, and there was given unto him a great sword. What does it tell you in the book of Genesis? Right, by thy sword shalt thou live. That was part of his blessing. And you're witnessing in a very short form one of the many, or I'm sorry, a few, 10 of the 10 million atrocities. Because these are just things that we know about. All right, obviously that's Southern Kingdom, that's Judah, Benjamin, Judah, Levi. Now, I think that first one was Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Okay, only people to drop atomic bombs. However, we are supposed to be the more, or they, not we, they are supposed to be the moral police. Okay, Abu Ghraib, I forget, prison. That was right outside of Baghdad in Iraq. So during the Saddam Hussein era, there were many different things, many different types of tortures and war crimes going on in that prison. Okay, and because the Isnot people and E in America are the same people, they do the same things. So you see what they were doing just recently in Gaza with, they were saying that they were, graping men and doing things to babies and stuff like that, and young children and young girls and all this, imagine how much worse it was before the internet was what it is today. Look at the ICE detainment facilities. Allegedly, okay, I have to say that there are young women in there, very young women in there, pregnant. Why? How? Right? And Iran has an affinity for Malcolm X because he was, even in that time where media was very, wasn't as prevalent as it is now. Not prevalent, I'm sorry. Advanced as it is now. Malcolm X was very critical, obviously, of Western mistreatment, okay, and he kind of represented an oppressed class, so that's how they make an affinity with him, and obviously, okay, because of the quote unquote blacks, the stolen blacks, the mistreatment, and all of those things. But but we ain't even got to the Jeremiah. We got so much in Jeremiah to read. Rachel was the journalist that was killed in Isnot, and then I think it was like by some sort of tractor or bull, something like that. I don't remember, but she was simple, just journalist doing journaling. That's it, her job. And if you can pick up as the wicked, their missiles land on infrastructure, children, hospitals, malls, schools, things like that, where, the Carmanian, they are hidden targets. And you can see how the rest of the world was able to operate in harmony and share until this devil came about and, was able to get control of everything, through the power of the Lord, right? Job 9:24, it was said this was prophesied to happen, right? He's supposed to be able to do that only for a short while. And now you see turmoil. Everybody's fighting. Everything is just going. They've got to go. There is no, and that is why people, the elect should be praying. How long, right? Ezekiel 9:4. Sighing and crying for the abominations there. Everywhere they go, they pollute the land. They grape, steal, rob, murder, destroy, kill, everything. Nothing can be in harmony. Nothing can just live. Nothing can flourish. Power, title, statue, liberty, what it represents, topple. Titanic, not obviously, but the Titanic, because there was, there was a great shift. Those were those who opposed the people that were, and this is all alleged. This is supposed to be a sea theory, but it simply just makes sense. So I don't know how it can be. But anyway, there were many people, big playmakers, big time, economists and people with a lot of money that did not want to deal with central banks. And next thing you know, they are on a sinking ship. And it's ironic because the people that wanted the central banks, they are currently on a sinking ship. And that is why Babylon, another reason, Babylon will crumble, not only economically, but physically. We're going to see that in our lifetime. The angels, right? That F-35 going up and smoke your defenses. All right, your way you attack. Hey, look at this. This missile system, the shit, what is it called? I think it's like a terminal high altitude area defense. Okay, and it's an anti-ballistic missile system. All right, and it's supposed to intercept. And as you can see, it's highlighting that they have no way of intercepting. You cannot stop what they are bringing, and that is not only because they've strategically done what they've done, but because the Lord has ordained it. It's time. Simply, it is simply time, and it is not by anyone's hand. It is simply because the Lord said, "Your time is up. Render unto her double," and this is just the start. This is only the start. So I'm going to cut the sound, let it replay again, and we're going to read through Jeremiah 50, and then that will be, actually, so here they are. This is Jeremiah 50, so 9, 14, 15. That's what I was reading last night. 21, 20, everything just fits. So what we going to do is just go ahead and we just going to read it as this plays in silence, right? So here goes, and I'm going to try to be quick, because I think I'm running out of time. The doggone video ain't gonna load. All right, and this is prophecy against Babylon. So this is 50, and we're gonna start at verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. They shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. And that's what you see, a bunch of arrows. Now, I don't know if this is going to be the big show that they're depicting, right? The Lake of Fire, or this is just going to be something that happens beforehand, a little in between, in the meantime, in between time kind of thing. We don't know, right? What we do know is that render unto her double. Babylon is going to see, or is going to feel everything that it has inflicted. And now when I say Babylon, remember, the leader of Babylon in these times is E. So they're always linked with desolation, okay, and in a land that has been made uninhabitable. So we're just going to go ahead. Let me just continue reading, because golly, I could just go into something else. All right, let me keep reading, okay? So that was verse 9, right? This is verse 13. Because of the wrath of the Lord, or because of the wrath of Yahweh, and if we're speaking in present tense, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, it shall not be inhabited, as I just said, okay? But it shall be wholly desolate. Every one that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hissed at all her plagues. Put yourselves in array, this is verse 14, against Babylon, round about all ye that bend the bow. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against Yahweh. Verse 15, shout against her round about. She hath given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of Yahweh. Take vengeance upon her as she had done do unto her. And there is a huge tab to be paid. Okay, so let's skip down. And we're going to read verse 21. All right, so go up against the land of Merathaim. And if you go into that, it's double rebellion. All right, that's why, you look at it. Just type in Jeremiah 50 and 21 GMS. You go into the detail with that. Okay, but double rebellion. And if this place is not it, if you don't read through this and pictures in your mind don't come up of America and everything that you've seen throughout your life, something ain't right and you need to pray. This should be clear as day. It should be a perfectly painted picture in your mind when you read through these scriptures, especially 49 through 51. Verse 21, go up against the land of Merathaim, or double rebellion, even against it, and against the inhabitants of Pekod, waste and utterly destroy after them, saith Yahweh, and do according to all that I have commanded thee. All right, so we're going to skip down. Verse 25, Yahweh hath opened his armory and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation. What do you think those are? For this is the work of Yahweh of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. Okay, and furthermore, as you can see, because the Babylon in the present day, which they are speaking about in these scriptures here, where we were captives, the first captivity, that's not what happened at all. It was a hostile takeover, and the infrastructure was intact. So this cannot be modern day Iraq. Continuing on. This is verse 29. Call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow. Camp against her round about. Let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she hath done. Do unto her. For she hath been proud against Yahweh, against the Holy One of Yasharallah. Let's see. Verse 31. Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, saith Yahweh of hosts. For thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee. And these know it. And that most proud should hit home because you can see it every time you turn on the TV and look at that fool or each fool. It doesn't matter. Pick one. They just appoint somebody and they're all fools. And I mean to be, head of state, of course. All right. Let's see. Thus saith the Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were pressed together. Yep. Okay. Which is why they, I don't know if that's why, but that is also why I read that, because you saw the Native American Indian and the quote unquote stolen black put together right there. Verse 36, a sword is upon the liar and they shall dote. A sword is upon her mighty men and they shall be dismayed. A sword is upon their horses, as you saw. Okay, their strength, their ships, their missile defense systems, right? The way, because a horse is a signifier or a metaphor for power. Okay, all right. Their sword is upon their horses, upon their chariots, upon all their mingled and all the mingled people that are in the midst of her, and they shall become as women. A sword is upon her treasure; they shall be robbed. A drought is upon her water; they shall be dried up. For it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols. If a Statue of Liberty and then a fade or overlay of a picture of the flag and that song, oh man, if that don't pop in your head when you see a land mad with idols, it should. It simply should. All right, so that was 38, 39. Therefore, the beast of the desert. Okay, no. Let me make it uninhabitable. Okay. So verse 40, as God overthrew all Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith Yahweh, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. Okay, and that is not what is going on in present day Iraq, is it? All right. Let's see, what else do we need? Verse 4, let me close this door because here come my dog. Verse 42, they shall hold the bow. Verse 41, actually, behold, a people shall come from the north, a great nation, and many kings shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. They shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel, and they will not show mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses, everyone put in array like a man to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon, right? And I'm going to throw in a little bit, who art to be destroyed. That ain't there, but it fits, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not adding to the scriptures. I'm just quoting another precept on top of this one. King of Babylon, the king of Babylon, this is 43, the king of Babylon hath heard the report of them, and his hand is waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him, and pangs as of a woman in travail, right? And I think that is it. Therefore, and we'll close with Jeremiah 50 and 45 because it is fitting. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of Yahweh that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. So with that being said, I pray you edified. Shalom.